All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. All right, and what I want to get into with this lesson this morning is dealing with the interest, all right, the king's interest, you know, and as we understand what we're a part of more and more, all right, we begin to understand, as servants, as brothers that's out there on the front line serving Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, through this ministry, through this word, through this work, this labor, on and off camera. We understand that we're here to serve the king's interests. We was born into this world, with the intent, all right. Yahweh Bashim Al Shai sent us back into this world with the intent of serving the king's interests. Okay? Now we got, other things going on in our life. Okay, but the priority, all right, the main thing, okay, that we mature into realizing is that, wait, we're here to serve the king's interest. And we begin to, organize our life, okay, around serving the king's interest, which is ultimately Yahweh Shai. All right, so when you go into the book of Proverbs 27-18, it says, whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. So he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. Okay? Let's read this in NLT. A worker who tends a fig tree are allowed to eat of the fruit. So workers who protect their employees' interests, all right, their employer's interests, okay, will be rewarded. Who is our employer? Yahweh Shai. Who is our master? Yahweh Shai. Okay, so just as a laborer will be allowed to partake in the fruit that he's tending to, okay, as we serve Yahweh Shai, we're going to partake in the fruits of the kingdom, okay, which is immortality, rank, power, authority, okay, land, wealth, you see, servants, wives, families, you see. So as we're partaking and tending to the king's interest, we're going to be able to partake, all right, in the fruit of it, the rewards of it, man. Okay? Let's go here to the book of Luke, chapter 19. It's the book of Luke, chapter 19. And let's start at 12. Luke 19:12. It says, and he said, therefore a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. All right, and it's Yahweh Shai going into the spiritual realm. Okay, to receive the authority, to have a kingdom in the earth, man. And he has that authority. He's just waiting to be sent back now. Okay, and it says, and to return. All right, and this is what we are waiting on, his return. But as we await his return, okay, he left us, okay, things to be occupied in. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Okay, occupy, which means what, man? You see, to be busy. You see, I'm giving you these talents, but I want you to use these talents to what? Bring me what? Interest. You see, I want you to use this talent to gain, to make gains while I'm gone. Okay? So he gave us these talents to occupy till he got back, to serve, to gain, to make moves, okay, in the spirit. And this talent is the understanding of the word, the ability to teach this word, man. The gifts given to us to teach this word, that's a talent. That's an investment. Yahweh Shai made an investment, okay, in the elect, beginning with the first fruits, man. It says, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us, all right, which is a that's going to be dealt with at his return, okay, as well. It says it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, that he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. He said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. Okay, and that goes into what? The fruits of the kingdom. You see, if we hold down the king's interest while he's away, okay, when the king returns, Yahushua, and he sees that we've held it down, that we've used the talents that he's given us, all right, to gain, to edify, you see, to build, his sheep up for his second coming, okay, to build up the church, man, to you see, to hold down whatever our office is in the body, man, okay, whatever talent's been given unto us from Yahushua, he expects a return, and there's a reward, okay, for that return. That's why it says, then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds, and said unto him, Well, thy good servant, thou hast been faithful in very little, have thy authority over 10 cities. Now we read this in NLT, it says, Well done. The king exclaimed, You are a good servant. You have been faithful with the little I entrusted to you, so you will be governor over 10 cities as your reward. Okay, and Yahushua, hey, those that he can trust with a little, he's going to entrust them with everything, man. Because as we got this word, look at what other men have done as they have the ability to teach. But what do? They have made themselves celebrities. They started their own thing. They built their own brand. Okay, they began to defile the product, corrupt the product with false teaching, with false doctrine. Okay, so they can't be trusted. Here it is. The Lord gives you, the ability to teach, this understanding, and Jake go haywire with it. Jake go do their own goddamn thing. Jake run off. Okay, build their own brand, change this up, change up the product. Nah, man, he gave us a particular product to push, man, which is just truth. Okay, and he entrusted us to keep it pure. Okay, and for us to use this truth to serve his interests, man. You see, and when he gets back, we'll get rewarded. Okay, verse 18 says, the next servant reported, Master, I invested your money and made 5 times the original amount. Well done, the king said. You will be governor over 5 cities. Okay? And then remember, this is what? The reward. Okay? So now, man, we're serving the king's interest, and we're going to partake in the fruits of the kingdom. If he can entrust us to hold down our office in the truth, he can trust us to rule with him. He can trust us to be joint heirs with him, man. Let's get this in Luke 12. Get to the point. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 42, and I read in NLT. And the Lord replied, this is Yahushua speaking, a faithful and sensible servant is one to whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his other household servants and feeding them. Okay? Because what he gave, the prophets have this talent which comes with the responsibility of having the oversight of the church, man. Verse 53, if the master returns and finds that the servants have done a good job, there will be a reward. Okay? So within, the ministry, the Lord has set up prophets, all right, as leaders, man. All right, with the responsibility, okay, of holding down the house. All right, ultimately the house of David, the elect. Each brother in their own office, man. Okay? So we all been given this responsibility while the master is gone, while Yahweh Shai, the king, is gone. And when he comes back, those, all right, that have done what they were supposed to do, okay, within this grace period, man, you see, they have served the king's interest. Those who, dedicated themselves to the king's interest are going to be rewarded, man. Verse 44, I tell you the truth. The master will put that servant in charge of all he owns. You see, the servant will put, it's like the master will put that servant in charge of all that he owns. You read in the KJV, of truth I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he hath. Okay, and that's what Yahweh Shai is going to do. He's going to be joint heirs, man. We're going to, partake in the fruits of an everlasting righteous kingdom, man. And everything is given to Yahweh Shai. The whole earth. You see, the whole universe, man. Multiverses, man. That's given to Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? And he's going to allow us, okay, to partake in that, man. For serving his interests, man. That's why. Let's go here and read this in Romans. And we'll end it here. This Romans, all right, 8 and 18 says, for I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed unto us, man. Because as we're, maintaining the house, it's not a pleasant situation, man. We in scrapes, okay? We have to continue to be disciplined, okay? It's a fight in the flesh, you see? We have to, continue to fight that old man until we change, So as we're, serving, we're dealing with, infirmities and these situations, pressure, being pressured on all sides, but still serving. Okay? And if we overcome, man, if we make it to the end, you see, if we hold down the king's interest in the midst of all these adversity, man, we're going to be rewarded forever, man. And it's not even going to be, like bringing up what we went through to get the kingdom. It's not even, it ain't even be worth bringing up the things that we had to suffer and go through, all right, to get the kingdom. When we're in the kingdom, it's not even going to be worthy of bringing up, man. You see? So, hey, may Yahweh Shem Al Shai keep a spirit, on us to serve the king's interest, man. To keep serving the king's interest, man, growing in our lot day by day, So, Lord, will you, brothers, and you few sisters edified once again, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful. Shalom.